Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Xennials podcast. Today, I am here with Christopher and Caraway. We're going to talk about some stuff. The makeups, the breakups, the makeups, the breakups, the breakups, the makeups, the breakdowns, to all that.
All of that. We breaking up, we making up, and then we breaking up, and then we making up, and we all over the place.
Maybe we'll figure out when it's time to call it quits, you know?
Here we go.
Okay.
When is it time? When is it time? When is it?
Yeah, I had to.
When the sex dry as hell?
Man, I had to cut one off this summer. Like, during the break. Yeah.
Wait a minute. There was one this summer?
Yeah, I was talking to a girl, and it was pretty cool. Aside from driving like 45 minutes almost to her place, 90%. I think she came over one time in like the 10 visits that were. Not a very mutual.
Yeah, she was not mutual. She wasn't a team player.
And then she was pretty. I don't know. She was very political, but didn't have a big idea of what like political spectrum she wanted to be in. Like she wanted socialism. Like she was a socialist, identified as a socialist. But then whenever I'd ask her like about exam, she'd always, I don't know. She never really had good answers for her questions. And then she identified with National Socialism because I asked her, so you're more involved in like personal, like American interest, you say fix our problems first instead of worrying about other countries. And she was like, yeah, I identify as a National Socialist. And I was like, I have to leave abruptly, do some fucking research and figure out what party you want to be in. And then
so she sounds like she was just a bandwagon type chick, whatever was hipping in at that point.
Yeah.
I
advised her to Google National Socialist Party and get back to me, and I haven't talked to her since. So,
okay, well,
yeah, I'm pretty sure Google would have helped her out on that one. Very, very. I mean, the first thing she would. Anyway,
she'd be like, "Oh fuck, what have I done?"
I don't want to get thrown off the networks before we really get off the ground. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Google would have helped her out first.
Can I ask if she was older than you or younger than you?
She was younger. She was a college student, probably like 26.
Okay. So she's still fresh. She's still got a little learning.
Can't really blame her. She's probably still listening to her professors. It's all good.
Yeah. She has some learning to do. Yeah.
But I mean, still better than the last serious relationship I was in. I mean, that shit. Chris knows.
Which leads us to today's episode.
Yeah. Tora never got filled in.
We never told Tora. We never told Tora about it. We never told Tora about
because,
part of the episode.
Look, y'all.
Of the episode. Yeah, it was an episode in your life, wasn't it?
Why wasn't Tora informed? And why wasn't Tora informed?
Well,
because Tora would have been like, what? Where's she at? Who asked? Do I need to call him up today?
See, that was part of it. Like, okay. That was part of it. We'll substitute her name. We'll call her Jane for the sake of confidentiality. But yeah, I met Jane working at a gas station, and she was like, had just moved to Texas from Colorado.
Wait, you were working there or she was working there?
No, I was buying blunts. Like I was buying Rillos, and I went in. I actually went in with a friend. John, rest in peace, he passed away this summer as well. That motherfucker, I told him, I was like, I've been looking at her for a while and I want to get her number. And he's like, I'm gonna get her number. And just to be a dick, like just to mess with me. So we go in, get our Rillos, and he asks her for her number and like pressures her into giving it to her or giving it to him. He does that whole like, I'm gonna call you right now shit. And she's just like, God damn it. So I ended up getting her number as well. Said, fuck it, bro. If you're going to get it, I'm going to get it too. And then we were supposed to hang out later that night. I ended up going to pick her up.
Hey, wait. Sidebar. Can I say something? As a lady, as a woman, as a chick, you know, that kind of stuff really be throwing us off. Like, y'all be trying to... We see what you're doing, but normally, at the same time, it's like, yo, one of these guys really want to holler at me, but I don't know who.
As a disclaimer, I never flirt with women while they're like clocked in. I feel like it's disrespectful. I feel like they're going to be nice to me because it's part of their job, and I don't want to ruin your day and be another one of the 100 motherfuckers that make some creepy ass comment, because you might not fucking like me, so I'll wait. And that's always kind of the way that I played it with her. I didn't want to like disrespect her. Plus she wore a fake wedding ring, so like, I mean, smart fucking girl. I was like, yeah, she knows how to like.
That is pretty smart though. That is.
Yeah. So
see, we had this conversation in one of our episodes of season 1 that you might want to go check out, about fake wedding rings and all that good stuff, and how we be confused with these rings on, ladies.
And how we be confused when they ain't got none, gentlemen.
It's not cool. Yeah, that's fair though. That's fair. So
just saying.
John ends up going and hanging out with some other friends, and I hit her up. I show up at that gas station at like 11:58. They closed at 12, and I went in and got some Swishers, and I was like, do you want a ride home? Because we were supposed to originally give her one, and I asked her if she still needed it, so took her home.
Pause. She was fixing to hop in the car with not one but two dudes she ain't know.
Well, see, she had. This isn't gonna make her case any better, but she lived like a block away, and I went in there almost every single day and got either cigarettes, Monster, Swisher Sweets. Like she was the person I'd walk in and they'd be like, get the packs, put them on the table in case I wanted them. So I was a regular at the gas station. She kind of, if I was gonna kidnap her, they'd know me pulling up in the front. That's that motherfucker right there. So, I mean, it probably wasn't the smartest idea.
Your car back then was a dead giveaway too. So
as a green Lexus.
It was a dead giveaway. You couldn't miss it. Continue.
We end up hitting it off. I invite her to go shoot some guns in the woods. Still not making a good case for her, I realized. And it ended up working out. We ended up moving in,
I'm sorry, how, what? Wait,
I'd say like about a month, after meeting her. She actually got kicked out of her apartment, her sister's place, because
I done seen about 5 red flags. She was started.
She was spending too much time with me. Her sister was.
This is why we right here. This is why we tell. Continue.
Her sister was like, well, you didn't, or you're hanging out with him too much, and you need to like move out. If y'all are gonna be together, y'all need to be together, and you either need to like get an apartment with him or come back and start staying here more often.
What kind of trash is your sister? Is this her older sister?
Yeah.
She's trash.
It was definitely a moment where I was like, what the fuck, dude?
Jane.
So she's pretty much just pushing you.
Yeah. Jane, your sister is trash. Let's go on record for saying that.
We ended up moving into the same apartments as her sister. They were like in a different building, but same apartment complex. And the reason we didn't tell you about her was because every time that I would talk to Chris, it would be like a fucking emergency and it'd be a situation I need dealt with. Hey, Chris, I need you to give me a response in the next 2 minutes or my life is over. I'm going to go back and my apartment's going to be burned. And there would be times where I would like be having delays pop up and I'm like, I don't give a fuck about a wide body. Like I need to focus on this shit. It got real. So there wasn't really a lot of times that I would have a situation that would require her being brought up. It was a time sensitive matter. So we did that.
We did reasons that I don't know about certain things.
It was challenging when you get a text message in the middle of everything going wrong, and then you get a message that says, "I need to answer like ASAP," and you like,
Hey, Chris. Yeah, there was a lot of times where I'd hit Chris up on the radio and like, say, "Hey, man, check your phone."
Check your phone. I'm like, jeez.
And people would be hitting me up saying, "Hey, what's going on? Why do you need Chris? Why do you need Chris?" You know, I can't say. Don't worry about it.
Check your phone. It wasn't check your work phone. It was check your phone.
Yeah.
Oh, this is even worse. This is bad. All right, where's my phone at? Pick up my phone. I'm like, yeah.
You might need to go home.
There are definitely reasons why I did not know about this.
I mean, dude, I would get off at...
Y'all are in the right.
I think I'd get off at like 3:30, and she would get off at 4, and it'd be DFW Airport to Irving. If I wasn't outside that fucking door at 4:05, I had to have been fucking someone. Like, there's no other excuse to like why I wasn't in front of that building at 4.
So you were in a mentally and emotionally abusive relationship, is what you're telling me.
See, in hindsight, I think I realized what it was. Unfortunately, when she was younger, she had lost her father, and then right when we started dating, as you may notice or remember, I was going through some custody issues, and I was in the process of losing my daughter. So we kind of related there. You know what I mean? Like the mental
this sounds
health,
weird.
The mental health issues.
So you were taking her
for what we
you took on her daddy issues and she took on your daughter issues?
I think a lot of it was I wanted to be a provider, and she was the type of person that really needed someone who needed, she needed a provider.
But damn, like what the hey.
It is not healthy. Like if you're in a situation like that where you feel like the only reason why you're in a relationship is because of your mental health issues that are just kind of being driven by their mental health issues, like you're kerosene and fire, just throwing them at each other. And it never worked. I ended up moving to Colorado with her. I got fired from our previous employer.
Wait. You missed half of this story. Don't go to Colorado yet.
Oh, wait, we not in Colorado?
Yeah, I had a little issue before you left Texas.
What?
Wait, what?
You talking about the incident with her sister and her brother? The lamp?
That one too. I was just going to leave that one out because you actually had another issue prior to you leaving that involved another individual that happened to almost get you stabbed. And we had to save you from getting stabbed because you were about to get stabbed.
See, this is why I didn't know about this shit.
I had to save you
because I'm with the shits. We can go stab all day. Who we stabbing?
No,
jab. I'm
Jane
with all
was
of
gonna
that.
stab him because
Jane
found out that he was having a conversation with Kim, and poor little Kim was just, "Hey, how you doing?" and trying to be friends, and Jane was just like, "No more friends." And
oh no! More friends.
She had
no more friends.
She had a very, very like big obsession with controlling who I had contact with and who I didn't. There would be times where like all it took was you being a mutual friend of someone who liked my page that was attractive. She would just search my friends' pages for anybody that was mutual and say, nope, she's too hot, and I would either have to block them or I would have to just cut off all contact if my phone had gaps of deleted messages. There would it got intense.
So Jane wasn't crazy. She was crazy.
Very controlling.
Very.
Yeah, man.
Jane ended up on my page. Let's put it that way. Jane ended up
got to the point
page.
where it just like people would come at me and be like, "Hey, man, you know that I just got hit up by Jane, and she said, who is this? How does he know her?" Like, they started giving me like a whole interrogation. To me, I was like, "Yeah, that sounds about right. That's you met her. Oh, you met it. You met Jane, whatever." But
let me tell you how also bad it got. Jane ended up on your sister-in-law's page because your sister-in-law is... See,
I knew you was fixing to say that, and I know she was not with the shits. I already knew you was fixing to say that. She got to the right page then. She went to the right one, didn't she?
Yes. She got to that page because your sister-in-law was friends with Caraway, and I'm like, she's met Caraway. They've talked. They've had conversations a couple of times, parking lot conversations. So they've met a couple of times. And Jane popped up on her page, and then I get a message like, who is this and why? I was like,
Yeah. Yeah, I probably should have used fake names for work people when I was talking to her about y'all, but
it was yeah. I'm actually surprised she didn't end up on your page, actually, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there were more than a couple people that I had saved. I had like 4 Domino's numbers in my phone.
You know what?
Not even being unfaithful, just because like I don't want to have to explain to her that this dispatcher that I'm training is gonna have to ask me questions when I'm not there. And
so you had Domino's number 100 in your phone.
I believe the reason Jane never ended up on my page is because I was friends with Butters.
Yeah.
So
yeah. That I think that
I was friends with Butters
because she could kind of see that, hey, that's not anything, and there were people that I would set a tone. Yeah, there wasn't a day where Cecil and Butters weren't doing up to no good.
Butters, man.
Yeah, Butters. Butters was my buddy. Butters,
man.
So yeah, I stuck around with her. There was a couple incidents, like notable ones, while I was in Texas before we moved. I remember me and her got into an argument, and she went to her sister's house that lived in a building maybe 2 buildings away. During this whole huge emotional fit, she knocked on her sister's door and they didn't answer. They were eating at Golden Corral. And I'll never forget this because they got so upset. She left a voicemail on their phone saying that I had like thrown her out of the apartment, and they interpreted that as like throwing her physically out of the apartment, when I just said, hey, if you're going to be throwing lamps and shit at me, then you need to leave, because at that point she had thrown a lamp at me. They got back, and she was by that point she was in the living room crying, and we were like talking to each other from the living room and the bedroom, so obviously my voice is elevated so she can like fucking hear me. Not like being a dick, but just because we're a distance apart. And as her sister and her brother walk up to the door, they hear us yelling, assume that we're still arguing, and fling the door open and just like barge into the apartment screaming, oh my fucking God, did you put your hands on her? We had to stop eating at Golden Corral. Like, bro, you mad because I interrupted I did you a favor. You're gonna wake up tomorrow because I stopped that meal from happening. You're welcome.
Wait, but the rolls in the honey butter though, is what I'm saying.
Man, that shit was on the table.
How dare you?
I promise, bro, it's just as fucking stale now as it was yesterday. You'll be all right.
I think that was that. We'll talk about that in the freestyle episode.
Man,
Golden Corral. I'm gonna write that down.
They called the fucking cops. They said I was holding her hostage in the apartment. Because, I mean, it's Texas, and you just kicked your way into my apartment. And her brother-in-law was a big fucking guy. He's probably like 6'4" and like maybe 240. Yeah, he's like a big country dude. And I just remember him coming into my room, pointing at my face, screaming. So I like pointed back, but not with the finger. Like, I was like, get the fuck out of my apartment. I hit that panic shit on my phone. And like my brother just got a video clip and a voice clip of me screaming, get the fuck out of my apartment. And he like, oh shit, what's going on? It was a whole ordeal. Cops fucking showed up. They came in, like made sure everything was legit and legal, made sure nobody had warrants. And they're like, what happened? I was like, I don't know, man. Me and my girl were talking, and they just kicked the door in and fucking ran in screaming. And the guy's like, he's lucky. Like, what? So we make up, we break up, we make up again, and by the end of the night we're totally fine. She's got this rule. What's up?
This period of your life, how long did this last? This relationship, how long did it last?
This is probably a year and maybe a year into the relationship of 5 years.
5 years. So you knew this girl was batshit crazy. What made you stay? Did you feel like you had a responsibility? Was it a physical thing? What exactly was it that made you make up after that breakup?
It was definitely the fear of, if I leave her, she won't be able to do it by herself. And I wouldn't accept the fact that that's not my responsibility, that I have to do shit for myself before I can do shit for her, because what's the point of the captain if the ship's sinking? So there were a lot of times, and then if you're in an abusive relationship, the last thing you should do is get another pet with someone, because then you that becomes another reason. Like, we ended up getting another cat, and that also became another excuse. I was like, fuck, man, if I break up with her, she can't keep the apartment. The cats go to a homeless or a cat shelter, and they're not going to go to the same home. Like, I cared more about the cats staying together in a fucking apartment than I did my own, having to be embarrassed and go to Chris every day and being like, hey man, so this is where this scar came from. This, yeah, it got to a point where I should have taken care of myself.
You were an abused housewife. You would not leave this abusive situation. You were embarrassed to go to your boss on a regular basis about scratches and scars.
The showing up at 4:05 shit always tripped me out, because it was like I would show up and she would count the drawer when I showed up. So even if I was on time, she still has to do like a 20-minute. What the fuck she would call me.
You're abused.
She would call me. I would answer, and she'd say, "Hold on 1 second."
You mean at work?
No, she would
hang up the phone and I'll call you back when you get done.
But it wasn't
she would put you on hold so that she could count.
Oh,
she just wanted to make sure you were there.
What she knew was that I would say, okay, well, this is gonna, and I'd go about my day too. So now she just had a mic in her hand of my immediate surroundings. So I'm not going to continue my conversation about this crazy bitch if she knows we're arguing.
Abusive relationship.
Okay, so hold on. Before we moved to Denver, and after we realized that you were an abused housewife, because there was a time where we stopped talking, and we stopped talking only because we both left the job, and your abuse became worse, and I was off in Never Neverland. How did you make the decision to get from being abused to going to Denver, and why did you make that decision to go to Denver?
It had a foundation. I had always planned on moving to Colorado beforehand. My aunt was a family advocacy counselor for the military, worked at Fort Collins, and during my freshman year, flew me and my brother up to Colorado Springs. And dude, before I even got off the fucking plane, I knew. I was like, this is where I want to live. Like, something about the mountains and the forest and like the scenery. This was before legal weed, like anything like that. It was just
a natural outdoorsy guy.
Yeah, like it. Yeah. Part of me, I could sit on a porch and look into the forest for the rest of my life and be content with that. So it was the nature. I'd always wanted to live there, and she had a foundation there. She had family there. She had lost her job for reasons. I had lost my job. I also was going through a pretty severe custody issue. My baby mama had joined the Navy and was being stationed in Jacksonville, Florida. And I had the decision of either stay here and fight a vicious custody battle and potentially put this little girl's life on hold for years over something that I'm just being petty about, when she could honestly have a much better fitting life for herself. Because at this point, I've lost my job, Jane has lost her job, and then our apartment rent was due, it was coming up, like we just were out of limits. And how am I going to fight a custody battle when I know she's going to have a stable, good, healthy household? That's just petty, So I had to make a decision and say, like, look, this might be better for her, for everybody to have a fresh start. She goes to Jacksonville, I go to Colorado, because if there's ever a time, it's when neither of us are being held down by a job, and we know that we can't make it here. So we had like a month, packed a duffel bag, gave it a shot. Her grandmother said she'd put us up for at least a couple months until we could get a job and get an apartment. And within a month of us being there, like sleeping on an air mattress I took $100. She took a duffel bag with her shit in it. I took a duffel bag with my shit in it and my Xbox in a backpack. Rode the Greyhound. Almost got stabbed there. That was an interesting thing.
Wait.
You'll like this one.
Was this Jane that almost stabbed you on the Greyhound?
No, Jane didn't. but
Jane was the cause of.
Yes,
okay.
There was an incident.
Story.
I recall this story, but go on.
Yes, that gentleman was drugged and left in an Amarillo Greyhound bus station, and none of us gave a fuck about waking him up to get back on the bus. We saw him sitting down, and we were like, "Hey, isn't he with us?" Nah, like he did not get back on the. I kind of wonder to this day what happened to him, but fuck him. That incident happened. We got to Colorado, and like there was a little bit of acclimating as a proud Texan. I'm sure I wore on people's nerves, but you can't go to Texas or go out of Texas and not talk about being from Texas. It's just your duty, like that shit wore on people pretty quickly. A lot of people would assume, oh, you just came here for the weed, and that got old. But after a while, we ended up getting a groove, met some people. At one point, we decided that shit wasn't really working. We decided to try out the polyamory.
Now, I honestly have a question about this, because she's describing Jane sounds like she's super protective and super jealous, and I'm just trying to figure out how the hell did she let this happen, because now she's sharing.
I think at this point she had something clicked in her head when we came to Colorado, and she went from she was always protective, and there was always making sure I didn't talk to people, and if I talked to anybody, she'd want to know exactly who and where and what and when. And if I got rides from friends, I better be here by a certain point. She ended up giving me, or like suggesting the idea of trying to include a third person. And every guy is like, fuck yeah, I'll give that a shot. I don't mind. And there was a couple incidents where it worked out well, a couple incidents where it backfired in like the worst possible way you can imagine. Like, that shit does happen. To say that polyamory works for everybody is stupid. There are people that it just doesn't work for. And you don't really know until you've put yourself in that situation. And a lot of people, fortunately, can just see from a distance, like, that shit ain't for me. And that's cool. But some people get a kick out of it. And I think that when she opened up that possibility, it just gave her an excuse to be promiscuous herself. And it gave her the freedom to be able to text people and say, hey, well, I'm texting this person. This, she's got a man, but he doesn't want to do anything, but I do have to text him so that he gets to know me. And that gave her an ability to do what she wanted. And I'm sitting there playing Red Dead Redemption. I don't give a shit what's going on behind. Like, that's how a lot of the relationships went, was she would become friends with the girl. We would hang out with them, and I would either just be friends with the guy and just like hang out and have beers, and the girls would have their fun, or they would just chill behind me. And like, it never really got weird. There was an incident where she got too attached to a girl and got so attached that whenever the girl's husband would try and show affection to her, she would like lose her shit. And that was sort of the end, like the demise.
So just looking at this from the outside looking in, were you her beard for a while?
No, I don't think it was that. I think if anything, I was her like transportation. Like,
oh no,
I was the way for her to be able to engage in social activities, and I wasn't embarrassing to bring along.
But it doesn't sound, I'm sorry, Chris, one more. It doesn't sound like, to me, it kind of sounds like she wanted to mess with girls, but she did not want to lose you. So she was like, if we're polyamorous, then I can do everything I want to do.
Yeah, there is definitely that element, but I don't think, she definitely wasn't opposed to messing around with guys either, as I later found out. Yeah, like, I remember...
The plot thickens. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so while Jane was with this girl that we'll call her Abby and Dan, Dan would try and show Abby affection, and Jane would lose her mind, and like that didn't become an issue until I was in Texas in 2019. I came back for a work contract with my stepfather to build cases, and almost a month after I got back to Texas to work, Abby texted me saying that she had broken up with Jane and that it just couldn't work because she couldn't show affection to her husband without it being an issue. And I was like, awesome, cool, glad you did this while I was out of state. Now Jane's a wreck, can't function, blah, blah, blah. And while I consoled her over that, her and Abby decided that it would be okay to just be friends. And whenever I would try and give Jane advice as to get over Abby, she wouldn't hear it. And I would tell her, look, this is becoming such an issue that it's becoming a me or her situation. I gave her that ultimatum. And she was just dishonest. She would lie and say, you know, I choose you. And then I would find out later through Abby that, you know, it was all just an act and a charade. At one point, I got an Uber receipt. She said she was at Abby's house and needed a ride home, so she took an Uber, and it was not an address that either the pickup nor the drop-off I was familiar with, so it just didn't make sense, you know what I mean? Like, my hair started, like, spidey senses started to tingle there, and then when I got back, at one point, Dan pulled me aside and said, like, dude, you got to get out of this situation. He pretty much did what Chris did every fucking day, but I think Chris was hindered because he was like clocked the fuck in. I think that if me and Chris probably had more conversations in the parking lot or away from like coworkers and shit, I probably would have gotten the point a lot faster. But Dan wasn't Dan wasn't held back by that. He just straight up was like, she's gonna ruin your fucking life, dude. We got into an argument one night, and at this point, her trashing our apartment was a regular thing. Like, we would rearrange furniture after every major fight to change the landscape. You don't want those memories to be there when you look around. So she would trash the apartment, break some chairs, break a table. I'd throw all this shit out, and then we'd rearrange the next day and be happy because it looks nicer. And we just have less shit. No wonder it looks bigger. Like, fucking one night, she threw a mirror down and it didn't break, and it was kind of funny. So I picked the mirror up and I was like, if you want to break shit, fuck it. And I put my foot through the mirror, and like the glass shattering was my BC to AD moment in my head. It just like snapped. I was like, I'm gonna go to jail. She's either gonna get the cops called on me and they're gonna show up and see all this damage, see glass on my clothes, and like, this bitch is gonna get me arrested, and I'm in Colorado. Like, nobody's gonna call, they're not gonna answer a call from you're receiving a collect call from Pueblo Detention Facility. Please, no, nobody wants to hear that shit. Like, so I hit Dan and Abby up, and I showed them, like, one night she stayed up till like 2 a.m. texting some motherfucker, and I like showed Abby and Dan all this evidence that I had. I was like, am I not crazy for breaking up with her because I have all this evidence? And they were like, bro, at this point, we don't even feel bad for you anymore because you've had evidence this entire time. And like, at a certain point, we just have to say, like, dude, fucking duh. Like, you've known. Are you surprised she's staying up till 3 a.m, like, getting caught walking into the walk-in with dudes up at Subway? Like, what the fuck do you think is going on? So shit, within 10 minutes of that message, I packed all my bags. I was at Abby and Dan's house, and I was like, I need a place to stay, like, at least long enough that I can get back to Texas. And they put me up in there. Like, they went from the couple that was potentially saving our relationship to causing all of the trouble to our relationship to ending it and like saving me. Because at a moment where I was in a really dark place, they gave me a place to live. They fed me. My only rent was that I had to watch, not had to watch, but like I helped them with childcare. And at first I was like, oh my God, a 3 and a 6-year-old, like 2 boys. I was terrified. They were rambunctious as shit, but by a week and a half living with them, they were my little troopers. So it ended up turning out well. Dan was a like clinical psychologist. Like he's got like a fucking doctorate and shit and breaking down people's mental health. And he really helped me out a lot with my problems that I was going through, and even helped Jane out with her problems because she was still in the picture. You know, she was a mutual friend of everybody, so she came over and we would have a long coke-ridden conversations of just like, hey, like these are our problems and these are how we're gonna work them out. And
I'm glad Dan was there. Like, honestly, I think Dan and Abby were godsend because you needed them at that time. That was the time that you need to make some action, make some moves, and
shit. They came and got me from Texas. Like even after Jane and Abby had broken up and they were like agreed no more. Like they had planned to come to Jambalaya, the concert, and they planned it because they knew that's around the time that his contract is up. We want to be able to go pick him up with her. Like they're great people. And to this day, Dan's actually celebrating a year of sobriety on September 15th. So it's got that going for him, building him a case for that. Like they're genuinely good people, and I wish them the best, and I appreciate what they did for me. And they're listeners, so they'll hear it all.
Excellent take. I do have one question though, while we've been talking about all this. I mean, it's been
pressing.
You needed more parking lot conversations, I will tell you that. When did it get to the point where you turned off? Or did it ever get to that point? I know you had the AC to DC moment, and we all have that moment, because my story I'm about to tell, my AC DC moment almost got me killed. So, but there was a moment in there where I just kind of tuned out, and I was just there because I was there. Did you ever have a moment where you were just there because you were there?
I'd say like the last 4 months of the relationship, there was a night that I'd clocked out of work and she was still going through the breakup with Abby. And this was like whenever I was living in Texas, I lost my brother. He ended up committing suicide. And on the way home from work during a fight that she was having with Abby had blocked her on everything. And she had texted me and said that she had my shotgun in her mouth. And I didn't have a car. I'm 3.5 miles away from where I lived. I've got to walk through 2 sets of projects across a fucking big ass King Soopers parking lot. And after that was a wound that was really, really fresh to me. And to hear her call me and threaten me with that shit, I don't think I've ever run so fast and so hard in my life. And I'm surprised I didn't chip a fucking tooth in her mouth when I yanked that shit out when I got to the apartment. But that was the moment where I was like, she doesn't care. Like anybody that's willing to use something that they know is that fresh in your mind as a weapon and a tool for manipulation, there's no existing. Like you're their toy, you're their puppet. You're not gonna live and be happy in an environment like that. And you kind of just, everything turns to static. And my life went from trying to fix the relationship to just existing in it long enough that the next major event happened that would either end it or who fucking knows. And it got dark those last couple months, but that was when I think Dan realized this guy needs to have someone talk to him, because he's either going to be dead in jail or fucking who knows where if it doesn't.
Yeah, those moments are. Ooh, yeah.
It just lasted. It lasted so fucking long too.
Hey,
walking that far, bro.
You don't know why it lasts that long. So my story is almost similar to yours, except for she was a little bit older than me. Oh, maybe a couple of years. And I met her when I was 16. And, first couple of years were great, awesome. And then we broke up. Please don't ask me what the first breakup was about, because all I know is I was in a very, very dark. She was my first real girlfriend, so I was in a very, very dark place for a long time because we broke up. Don't remember what. I blame it on my 20s. Don't remember why we broke up. I just remember like the first year we were broken up, I was heartbroken. Yeah. Fast forward, now I'm 18. I've gotten over it, so to speak, but I really just kind of I'm good, at that point. And she walks back into my life, and I want to get together again, X, Y, and Z. She had a disaster of a marriage that she'd gotten into while we were broken up, and me being me, I was like, oh yeah, we can be in a relationship. And within the first year, she cheated on me with her ex-husband.
So she broke up with you, got married,
divorced,
left him,
got back with me.
And
yeah, mathematically, this is. So here I'm like 18, 17. No, I'm 18 at this point. I'm 18. And, this is, I don't know. For some odd reason, I chose to forgive and let go. You don't ever forget situations like that, but you forgive and let go. All right. So
she was married by the time wait.
So she's a couple of years older than me. So if I was 18, she was already 21.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah, she was already 21 by the time I was 18. So she got married at like 19, and by the time she was 21, she was divorced first time around. So, you let it ride, you let it go. Yes, Tora, I know. You let it ride, you let it go, you just kind of, I'm free falling through this relationship until, I don't know, maybe another year passes by and we have another incident of infidelity. This time around, I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm good. Good.
You saw you're out, you took it.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm straight. I have one rule in a relationship. Well, back then I did. Now I'm a lot smarter and know that I can't my mental health does not allow for me to go through all of that anymore. I'm sorry. I got a fuck ton of rules, but like I'll let you break a couple. Let you break a couple.
You break too many and then you got problems.
So, but back then the only rule was don't cheat on me. I'll take everything else, just don't cheat on me. Well, you broke that rule not once but twice. Okay, so I gotta go. That was my out, right? That's my out. That's my door. I'm walking through the door. I got that last little bit of my heel out of the door, and then you feel something pull you back like, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. Then you turn around and you look, and you're like, maybe it's not so bad.
She looks pretty serious. Yeah.
She sounds sincere, and you're just like, you're 19 at this time. You're still a dumb kid. You just like, I don't know. I give it another chance. Yeah, you wait about 3 or 4 weeks. You let them sweat it out. You're like, okay, I'll give it another chance. I give it, okay, another chance. We won't do it again.
I'm different there. Like I'll give it like 2 or 3 days, and then like those 2 or 3 days are just mental torture. But once I'm past them, I'll never talk to you. I will literally pass you on the street and not recognize you.
Bro,
but those first couple days, I'm dying.
I wish I had have known then what I know now, because if I'd have known then what I know now, I would never have gone through it. But I always believe that we go through things to teach us about things in life. So, here I am, 19. So now we go through this twice now. I get to about 20, 21. I'm now 21. No, I'm now 20. I'm sorry. I'm now 20. And I've just celebrated my birthday. I'm 20, geeking out. I'm acting a fool, having a party, living life. I've already graduated high school. I already have a job. I have 2 jobs at this point. Living my best life, having some of the greatest friends that I've had, and still kicking it with the guys I grew up with that I love to death. Another set of infidelity comes wafting through. Don't say nothing to her. And at this point now, I'm officially done. There's no in, no outs. I'm done. It's a wrap.
I have a question.
I'm done.
I have a question.
Yes.
Was she like she was just having a problem keeping her legs closed? What was it? What was it?
Could she be named after a perfume? is like, if she were to have to climb a fire pole to get to the top floor, life or death, how good would she do it?
None of the above. I think the problem was I don't think it was a problem with keeping her legs closed, so to speak. If I had to look back and really give you an explanation behind it, the very most I could say is the situations that you find yourself in with different individuals makes it hard sometimes to actually, especially when you're not over them and you lie and you say that you're over them. I'm not giving. You
think she was just with the wrong crowd or something?
No. I'll explain what I mean in a second. I'm not giving any infidelity any credence and saying that it's awesome or it's great or whatever. But what I am saying is that if you're not completely over someone, don't get with somebody else. Because if you're going to go back and you're going to try to hang out with that person and those old feelings get stirred up and they looking good, and you looking good over the R&B is on, and you know what's going to happen.
My mind is telling me no.
Exactly. But my body's saying, you know what's going to happen next. I mean, we're all adults in the room. You know what's going to happen next. Now you have to explain to the person that you're with now what just happened. And the person that you're with now may be like the music director and not understand that this ain't...
The sheet music's upside down. What the fuck?
Exactly. Why won't you just get out the car? I at that point in time didn't understand that. Like I didn't understand how infidelity worked. For me, again, this is like my very, very first serious relationship. I mean, we've all been through those kiddie relationships when 12, 13, 14, 15. That's my boyfriend. That's my girlfriend. There ain't nothing really serious. This is my first real serious relationship. This is my first serious fights with somebody. This is my first kind of dealing with infidelity. Didn't understand it. All I knew is, you did something with somebody else, I'm out. Peace. That's 3 times love. I'm gone. I'm done. Why was that not the case? So we hit 21 and...
Wait.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the question. Why was that not the case? My question for that is it goes to both of y'all. Mm-hmm. You guys not leaving this trash ass situation is because that the sex was just really good? Did that have anything to play with that?
Dude, me and Abby rarely had sex. I would say like maybe.
Who's Abby? Not Abby. Jane.
Yeah, Jane.
Jane. Yeah. Well, Jane. Me and Abby, that was just. But no, Jane.
Shut up.
I was just saying, wait, does Jane know this? Like, I don't know what's going on.
No, Jane. Yeah, Jane was. Yeah, we rarely did it. Like it was maybe once every week. Like, nowhere near as much as I would normally want to, but it was just because we fought all the fucking time. It was so exhausting knowing that, dude, I would clean the whole fucking house on days she would be off. She'd come home. The mirrors are fucking dirty. Like, I missed that spot. My bad. Like, so, okay. I would be walking on eggshells.
Were you not sexually attracted to her like that? Or was it like, was it a mutual thing? Y'all were attracted to y'all just argued more than you had sex?
It started that way, and then I think that she just evolved into a person that I cared more for than, Yeah.
In my situation, because after the 3rd time, I wind up in probably one of the greatest relationships that I was in. Wasn't really a relationship. It was more of a student-teacher type situation, and this person doesn't even know that. So I wind up meeting somebody that I worked with at the time. I'll tell you the story off air. I wound up meeting someone at work, and we were friends, and friendship turned into a sexual relationship at that time. However, the basis of the relationship was a friendship, and that's when I started learning key things about relationships and people and women and men and how that dynamic works. And that's when it started coming together for me, like, okay, this is what a relationship really should look like versus what I'm getting over here in the corner, y'all. Ain't it, Chief? So no, it wasn't the sex that was bringing me back to that relationship. I don't, to this day, I seriously, you've not been the first person to ask me that. I don't have an answer to why I did. I don't have an answer, because as we go on in this story, I'm going to tell you a little bit more. It's really going to make you ask the question, why didn't I just run? Like I asked Caraway a couple times, why didn't you just run? So while I was in that other relationship, of course, you know, the ex comes back and she's just like, oh, I want you back. And I don't know, somewhere in my mind, I thought this was a good idea. You know, we're now a year later and, you know, thinking that, you know, maybe this is a good idea to give it another shot. I don't know why I thought this. I moved.
Never is.
Right. I'm 21 now, so this is we get back together right before I moved. So I moved in September. So I moved into Texas in September '99, and I get here, and now we have this long distance relationship where I'm spending money on calling cards and calling.
Oh damn! I remember calling cards.
Not the calling cards.
Calling cards.
We had to go back in the vault for that one.
Calling cards, bro. Calling cards and payphones.
Yeah, so, can I get the one with the Mexican flag on it? It's the cheapest.
It really was. I did find that out when I got here.
Look, I only went about a minute. Can I get the 200-minute one? Yeah, thank you.
Oh,
because I don't want to keep playing. So,
yeah, I've been hit with that. I got hit with the bill one time because I had a long distance girl that was calling, and my grandparents were not fucking happy.
So I moved here in September, had my first apartment by November. 2 jobs. Felt like I was living my best life, and you know, we were carrying on this long distance relationship, and it was okay. You know, she got here after the holiday. Maybe like January, something like that. And from like day one, it just was like, at that point, it was weird. It was just like, I mean, I've been living here now almost, 4 or 5 months just by myself, and I'm enjoying life, 21. I just had all these bunch of friends in Chicago that I ran with. Now I come here and I found out that people actually share beer with you and share alcohol with you with no problem at all. And sometimes you don't have to come out of pocket for that, because I was broke, and man, it was lovely. It was lovely. And, I didn't have anybody to answer to. It was just me.
It is a good feeling.
Oh man, it was awesome. And so, she moves in after the holiday, and that kind of dies down for a little bit. And now I'm just working, and we're going through life, like we're doing the life thing, and the life thing is not working. Like it's not working, and so I don't know what to do at this point, but to. You know what? Why don't you go get your own place and I get my own place? And we talk about that for a little bit. We talk about that because she was also talking about going to school. So going to school here meant that she could actually get a dorm room. So by all means.
Yeah, it just makes sense.
By all means, go do that. We'll still work this out, but by all means, go do that, because that sounds awesome. Somewhere along the way before that happened, there was an incident that the cops were called.
Oh shit.
Well, we had a job.
Oh shit.
She had a job where she worked at the airport. This is around the time when Delta was still coming out of the airport. And I had a car. I had bought my first car. Between us, there's only one car. And I was like, I'll drive you to work. And she's like, why don't you let me drive the car to work? I'm like, because it's my car. If I want to take my car on my day off, I take my car on my day off.
Yeah.
So I got a knife pulled on me at that point, and
what the fuck? Wait.
At this point, it becomes extremely violent, because it's like, give me the keys. And while you're running at me with a butcher's,
she wanted to get to work.
Yeah, no, yeah, bro, and so now I am little 1-bedroom apartment. I'm juking and jiving and moving like I'm still like 16 years old, still playing football. Can't move that fast anymore, but I'm moving. Finally get the knife out of her hand. Somewhere along the line, phone calls get made to my aunt and uncle that were here. And my aunt comes over, and in between there, the cops get called at the same time. So Now the cops show up at my place. This is when I first found out that domestic violence cases will get both of you locked up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I found out that day. And here I am, the one with a whole bite mark in my arm and a whole non-puncturing stab wound in my stomach. And I get to go to jail for the night and have to pay $500 for a bail bondsman. And I'm the one that needs to get bandaged up.
Tell me you never talked to her ever again after that.
Nope, it gets worse.
Bro.
No, I can't tell you why we did. So after we get thank you, Tora. After we get released from jail, I officially am like, you got to go. Like you just have to go. Like you have to move. We have to not live together in order for us to survive after the relationship.
The phrase that pays was after we get released from jail. Continue.
Yeah, because we both went. We both went. Oh my goodness, we both went. That was a crap show.
God damn, dude.
Yeah, like you and Jane over there were bad, and this is why I always tried to offer you the best advice that I could, because I was like 10 years past that when
How
we
long
started
did you get
talking
locked up
about
for?
it. 24 hours, literally. I had to wait for the next day because the judge had already came in for that.
Seeing
day.
everybody,
So I had to.
Did
wait
it
for
affect your job?
day. No, I was off that day. It was my 2 days off. So literally,
you just
lucked
out.
2 days off. Yeah, I lucked up big time. And so we go live in our separate homes. So the good thing about it, this is pre-cell phone. Well, no, not pre-cell phone. This was pre-Chris having another cell phone, because I had a cell phone when I was in Chicago that I had to turn off when I got here. Long story. And so this was pre-cell phone. So I had a home phone that, if I wasn't at the house, you couldn't call me, right? Basically means we only talked when we talked, which was excellent. I don't really care what you're doing down there. I am fine with that. And that went on for, that arrangement went on for a couple of months before we finally just said, forget it, screw it. We're just not even going to do this relationship thing anymore. You can do what you want to do. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And that's it. Man, we were broken up for a grand total of, I want to say 3 years. Until I was dumb again. This time now I'm 24 and dumb. So
so you're 3 years more mature.
I'm 3 years
you're
mature
like, I got
now.
this shit
Still
down.
dumb. And I was dumb.
But
and
you're not getting no better.
See, what's scary is I've always imagined Chris as being like a more level-headed individual, so like.
Oh, I was dumb.
I'm sure dumb to Chris at 20 is like dumb to me at like 13, like the same. You know what I mean?
It was dumb. I was in my 20s. I was in my 20s doing some real dumb stuff, and so 24. 25, we get back together. Like 3-4 years after this, I've lived my life and I've had my fun, and I get a phone call and, hey, you want to try it again?
What?
Yeah.
Sometimes it works.
Sometimes 3, 4, 5's a charm. You know what I'm saying? So my logic.
Yeah, nothing like a 3-year break. Like having these conversations where it's like, when did that ever happen to you?
Right.
Was that 3 years when we weren't?
3 years when we weren't together. That's when that happened. But so yeah, so I'm like a rookie. I make a rookie mistake, and I'm out in Arlington, and I have all this stuff out in Arlington, but she's moved to Irving. So at this point, I'm like, yeah, let me up and move to Irving.
Her life must be in way better shape now that she's living in Irving.
Bro, she was living off of Strata Parkway at that point in time.
Oh damn! Those the apartments behind Walmart.
Exactly. Yeah. So at this point in time, I have no clue. Like, I'm clueless at this point in time. Shaggy and Scooby clueless, and we're chugging along, and then Left Eye passes, and then Aaliyah passes away, and the next thing I know, I'm homeless, y'all.
The fuck? How did they have? I mean, I know they
no
didn't,
direct effect on what happened. I'm just giving
I was gonna say, like,
I'm just giving you a timeline.
Yeah, I like how Black.
I was trying to make the connection too. Like, what the fuck? I was trying to make the connection.
Like, we talking 2004? Nah, this was before Left Eye. Like, what the fuck?
Right. So yeah, we had an argument, we had a fight, and I don't have anybody out in Irving because I know nobody in Irving, and the apartment's in her name, it's not in my name at this point. So it's just like, get the fuck out.
She called you a dokey doke.
Yep.
She called you a dokey doke.
Damn.
Let me move you over here because if I'm tired of your ass, then I can just put you out. Ain't shit you can do.
Yeah.
Oh,
Damn.
she called you a dokey doke.
So where'd you go?
So for a spirited number of years, I was literally homeless. I got a ride back out to Arlington, and I put my stuff in storage and wandered the earth for a good couple months. I had a job. I had friends at the job that eventually let me come stay with them, and I stayed with them for a while.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's go back. Why you get put out?
We had an argument about something. I don't remember. God's honest truth, I don't remember what the argument was about to a point that it got there. But
it's never anything major. It's always something like, fuck, you used 3 knives while you made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and then it turns into get out.
See, Carol, we know what I'm talking about. Like, you just had the randomest of arguments and you just like, get out. But this
why you move in with her in the first place?
Because
I
tried again. It seemed like 3 years had passed. I mean,
right, 3 years had passed. I'm thinking we got past
3 years. 3 years had passed. It sounded like you was free.
I was just.
You was free.
I was free, boss. I was free.
And you went back.
And I went back, and I got homeless. And then, thankfully, I had friends that scooped me up and gave me a warm place to sleep and place to take a shower, place to hang out until I got on my feet, which was awesome. It was excellent. And so when I did, get back on my feet, I did actually wind up going back out to Irving. But the reason going back out to Irving was because I actually liked it once I got out there, and it was nice out there. It was, the mall was there, the school
it
was
has its
there.
spots.
Yeah, it was very nice out there. It was different from Arlington, and it had a bus.
Yeah, we have the DART system.
It had a bus. So if I couldn't get around anywhere, because at this point my car had gone to kaputs and I couldn't afford to get it fixed, so I just let it go, get towed somewhere. But I had a bus. So, I'm from the city. I'm a city kid. I'm used to being able to ride bus anywhere I wanted to go. So we had a bus. I was like, this is cool. I can hop on the bus, go anywhere I want to go. So that was one of the biggest selling points from Irving for me. And so I went from
what year was
moved
this?
Out there. This had to be 2006. No. This was 05. This is about 05 by the time I came back to Irving.
See, that's around the same time me and my friend Josh would hang out, and we would ride the bus all fucking day. It's trippy to think that you and me probably rode the same bus together. Yeah.
I enrolled in school, enrolled in Northlake, and made the mistake of moving in with her again. But this time I had my best friend here, so it was even better. Anyway, I made the mistake of moving in with her again.
You had a contingency plan, like Batman.
Backup plan this time. And the last time.
God damn it, Chris.
Yeah, Chris was dumb. Chris made a lot of dumb choices when it came to that particular person. And I don't know why, though. I think I used to chalk it up like I was in love or whatever, and love is blind and all that stuff. But I think what I've come up with as I've gotten older is that there's a point where you get comfortable with a person that you don't want to go out and have to find that comfortability with another person. So you're comfortable dealing with their crazy because you can handle their crazy versus saying they're crazy.
You can really be yourself, and the little quirks that make you who you are that are just second nature to that person will take years to become the norm for another person. So it was like, deal with your nutso. But again, I had a contingency plan. My best friend of these, I don't know, almost 40 years or so, he had just moved to Texas. He was just coming to Texas. His dad was here. His dad is here. I'm sorry. His dad is here. His grandparents were here. And he called me up out of the blue. Hadn't talked to him in a couple of years. Out of the blue, he hit me up. How do you like Texas? It's nice. He was like, I'm coming. I was like, where part of Texas are you coming? He was like, where are you? I was like, I'm in Arlington. At this point, I was in Irving. I'm like, I'm in Irving. He was like, I'm coming to Arlington. I was like, dude, I live in these apartments over here in Irving. When you get on your feet, let me know.
And
you can like spit on Irving from Arlington. So,
right. I was like, I was like, hit me up when you get on, when you get here, I'll show you my apartments. It took one look for him and got the apartment right next door to me. So yeah. It was like that was my backup plan, and he let me stay.
Well, shit, it was cheap back then too. So
oh god, yeah, that one bedroom apartment I had in Irving had to run me nothing more than like $775, $780, and I was working at 7-Eleven at that point in time, so I could afford it. Yeah. So fast forward, now my best friend's gone. He's moved to San Antonio. I give it one last shot because I took over his apartment after he left, so I took over his apartment. And they give it, I know, Tor. I gave it one last shot, and this is the AC/DC moment for me. Was we were having an argument that I didn't start or have anything to do with, and this was the first. I had disconnected. I want to say I disconnected maybe a year or two prior. I had fully disconnected. Like my whole thing was just that I was comfortable with her. It was somebody I didn't have to worry about.
Everything is just the next day.
Exactly.
Like, every day is Monday.
Exactly. Every day is a Monday. And I knew which flares to wear every day. So I had the correct flares on, and it was awesome. And it clicked for me, this argument we're having, and I'm walking away from the argument. I'm walking away, and I'm just like, I'm good. I'm straight. No, I'm sorry. My best friend was still here because I went to his place. Got too far in that story. Yeah, he was still here because I went to his place. But anyway, the argument was so dumb. I just walked away. I'm walking down the hallway of my apartment. In this particular apartment, the bathroom, and then there was a walk-in closet was in the actual hallway of the apartment. Like the bedroom was one of the few apartments that I didn't have a bathroom.
Weird.
Very, very strange. One of the only ones I've ever had like that.
Just a safe room. Fucking all right.
Well, it had a closet in the bedroom, and you come out of there and in the bathroom, and then there was a closet. Anyway, because it was a 2-bedroom apartment, the other closet was outside the other bedroom. So I got pushed into that closet, and I'm talking at that point, I'm still a good solid 230, but I got pushed like everything within that forest got pushed and pushed me into that closet. That closet had a shoe rack, so I slam up against the shoe rack, and I get squirted with rubbing alcohol. And I get hit in the eye with the rubbing alcohol.
What the fuck,
So now I'm mad because I got rubbing alcohol in my eye. And I'm just like, this shit's burning and whatever. And next thing
that's burning.
Next thing I hear is flick.
Bro, yeah, I saw that shit coming. She was about to light your ass on fire.
That AC/DC moment hit real fast. So I was like, I gotta go. I've got to go. Or I'm going to die. And so I push my way out of there, and we're still flicking while I'm pushing my way out. I of course I can't see shit out of one eye, and flick, and I'm sitting there like, fuck, I gotta get out this closet. So in that closet, I had a sword collection that was on the floor, and I couldn't hang my swords up, so they were sitting on the floor of the closet under some shoes. I reach under there, and I grab one, and I'm like, move now, or I will cut your hand off.
I mean, fuck it, dude's got to do what
And she finally got the lighter to kill over. Now I'm running for my life because the rubbing alcohol is on my clothes and on my face. So they're from like my face down to like mid chest, and I'm like, I gotta run. So there's only 10 feet between the closet door and the front door, and I make that in 2 steps, and I haul ass down the stairs. I'd already dropped the sword back in the closet. She moved enough for me to get out the closet, run to my friend's house, open the door. Let me get this rubbing alcohol out of my eye. Bro, just trying to kill me, blah, blah, blah. He's mad. I'm sitting there like, what did I just do? Like, why did I put myself in this position? Like, I'm going through my head, like, why did this happen? Why did I do this? What made me so dang blasted dumb to not see this coming? And to this day, I still ain't figured out what I was thinking. But I knew it was over at that point. At that point, I was just like, I'm done. I'm good. Please don't contact me anymore. I'm good. I'm good. I'm straight.
Go no contact straight away.
It went here. Hey, I'm gonna come pick up my stuff. I'm gonna have my best friend come get my stuff. He's gonna come down there. He's gonna come grab my stuff. Or you don't have to be there, and I'll come grab my stuff. Or I'm not talking to you. we're not having conversations. And then for like, I didn't see her for a month. Supposedly she went and was checked into a psych ward for that time frame, had a breakdown or whatever, and didn't see her, no contact at all. Then maybe a couple of weeks later I got a phone call. It was like, hey, I'm leaving the state.
Sorry about trying to set you on fire.
No sorry, I'm trying to set you on fire. None of that.
Okay.
None of that. And I'll tell you off air how bad that story got. It got so bad that I almost lost a friend behind that, because I got lied about, because it got said that I did something that I would never do, ever, period. And I was just like, wait a minute. That's not my character. That's not me.
Immolation is one of those things that no matter the circumstances leading up to it, it's an act of passion that requires forethought and planning. You have to go get the fuel and get the source. It's not some self-defense.
Let me tell you what a rubbing alcohol was. Rubbing alcohol was the bathroom. So that means you had to stop in the bathroom and get the rubbing alcohol out the bathroom, and then bring the rubbing alcohol to the hallway.
Yeah,
this was a bad deal, but it was where I had that moment and where I just stopped and was just like, I'm done. I'm straight. Never again, no more. Wound up getting left the apartment because she didn't have to leave. She left town, and I got the apartment and wind up in another relationship. I will say this though. I would have to apologize to the person that I went into a relationship next, because I was never ready at that point in time. I should have never walked into a relationship until I got past what I had been through for 10 years at that point.
Just setting yourself up for failure.
I did.
The shit might work if it's at a later time, you know what I mean?
I did. I set myself up. And it shouldn't have happened until that part of me had gotten thoroughly therapied and out of my system, because that was wild. Like you were literally abused for years, and then you're going to go into another relationship and think that you're going to make someone happy without first dealing with your unhappiness and uneasiness and shit that I was dealing with, because I was scared of people for a while. I'm not gonna lie. My big ass was afraid that I was going to get hurt physically and emotionally. So no, I was not trusting of a lot of people. No.
Yeah, I had some scars after Jane, and like it was kind of ironic because all the things that she hammered me about while we were dating that ended up just becoming second nature to me, that to other people they'd hear about it and be like, dude, why do you put up with that? That translated into me being a better boyfriend for the next person I'm with, because I already know all these little if somebody just screams everything that pisses them off for years and years and years, and you finally pick up on ways to stop that from happening as much as possible, it makes you a really good boyfriend, I'll tell you that. And if I could just find one that's not a fucking that shit crazy, that'd be really cool.
It would be. But first, make sure you get Jane out of your system. We gotta make sure you get all that out of your system, because for me, again, like I said, I always have to apologize to the person that I was in a relationship right after my ex, because I should have never done that. Like, regardless of how, that should have never happened. And I'm just now to a point where I'm starting to learn about what happened, how it happened, and how to be a better person, behind all
We're
this.
human.
So that's my story of makeups to breakups to makeups to breakups to breakups to breakups to breakups. Damn it, break up. That's the key word. Break up, people. Break up.
Gotta end at some point.
If you see the red flags, break up.
Y'all do a lot.
I know we did, and notice it was all one person. It was never multiple people, was it?
Mm-hmm. Crazy. It's just crazy. Y'all just stuck with one crazy ass female. I guess that's good. Like, y'all didn't acquire a group of crazy ass females. Y'all just had that one nut job.
No, that comes
one
later.
Crazy. I was like, it comes later. Okay, never. Disregard. This is why it's always been like, when
and Caraway first started talking to me about Jane, I saw all the same red flags, and I was just like, boy, if I'm over here just leading the damn plane out of the damn hangar and into the gate, sir, I'm gonna need you to understand what I'm saying. Hey,
Caraway, I'm not guiding them. I'm not guiding them.
One. Oh
my goodness.
But I also know that people got
you gotta learn for yourself.
Yeah, you can give people game on the silver platter, but they have to learn. And there's nothing wrong with that. And for a long time, I was always mad about that. Like, yo, I'm giving you game on the silver platter. Not mad at you, Caraway, but mad at I've had some other friends that have done some real dumb shit.
There's a mental block, dude. There's it's like you can hear it.
Because I had people telling me the same thing that I told you. And it's a mental block. It's like you block it out. You smile, you nod, you like, yeah, man, I'm listening to you. I hear you. But at the same time, it blocks out of your head.
See, that's the thing, though. It's a difference between I hear you and I'm listening.
Bingo.
Yeah. I hear you. I heard everything you just said. I ain't listening, but I heard everything you just said.
I always saw it as like I could like vanish and enough of the words to know what the gist of what they were saying was, but not enough. You're not intricate enough in the language to know exactly what they were saying or like emphasis. So you're like, I know that they're talking about cars, but I don't know what they're saying. And that's how it was. Like Chris would be like, bro, you just can't do that. Like, I know that it's unhealthy, but I don't see where it's being unhealthy. And
and it's like I can fix your car as many times as I need to fix your car, but until you actually have to get on the side of the road and get up under your car and fix it yourself, you ain't gonna understand it. Or you got to realize that engine is gone. You just gonna have to let it go.
You know what? I'm glad that Caraway actually had Chris to go to talk. I'm not sure if this is
to. There were definitely moments where I was like, damn, I'm glad she doesn't know Torah. Like,
look, I'm not sure if this is the same person, but I do recall, I don't know if this was towards the end of my extension at that place, that there was somebody that your bestie at that time hated with a hardcore passion and made sure that everyone knows hate that bitch. Is this the same person?
That was so like, yeah, that
or was this somebody else?
That was his actual baby mama.
Oh, okay, disregard then. Because I know there was, he hated someone. And I was like, dang.
That was definitely, he could do a whole fucking episode on that shit. They would fight and then.
Okay, so that was his situation,
immediately go to bed
yours.
and fuck. Yeah, like.
Oh, okay, well.
That sucked. I lived with them at the time in their like tiny ass apartment, and they were the same shit. They would fight, and then 10 seconds later they'd make up, and then the next morning they'd fight again.
Fun fact: his new living location is the same as my brother's. They live like in the same city. They live in the same city.
But Tor, I know you don't have a story as elaborate as ours, so
it's not nearly as elaborate as you guys is, because I think that mine happened later on. I was in my late 20s.
There's a late 20s. I just thought 20s just all ran together. You just 20 something.
Yeah, no, I consider this my late 20s because my early 20s was a little different.
At least you got it in your late 20s. It took me to 30 to figure it out. Like, that's what's supposed to happen here. Because before that, nope.
I can talk about my ex. We met, wasn't feeling him at first, ended up feeling him. Very quickly he moved in with me. Very fast, like super duper fast. That kind of happened in part because his ex kept popping up to his apartment. And I was just not with the shits. She popped up one day and we were backing out. We were getting ready to leave, and she popped up one day with her sister and her mama, and popped up out and jumped out the car. She blocked our car in as we were backing out, and she jumped out the car. She ran over to his side and started cussing him out. His sister ran over to my side, and she looked in the car, and then she looked at me, and then she looked in the back seat and seen my kids, and I don't know what she said about my kids, but I blacked out. And this one
what the fuck, dude?
This one, Chris knows this woman, and this one particular woman come from a very heavy-set family. So I jumped out on the girls like, what's good? They backed out. They backed back. Oh, whoa, we didn't expect this smoke. Nah, bitch, I got all the smoke. What's good? What you're not gonna do is come to my baby.
Yeah. The second you saw my kids, that should have been like, all right, I'll leave you alone. Like, this is my beef between him and her.
And that's it.
I'm only here to make sure you don't touch her.
And that's it. But you saw my kids and she said something. I can't even remember what she said. But I jumped out and I was going to kill everybody in the parking lot. You get an ass whooping. You get an ass whooping. You get an ass. It was on. But they backed back a little bit and they was like, oh, well, my bad. Have you been with him this time? Girl, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. All I know is that if you don't back away from my babies, oh my gosh, somebody about to call the cops. We going to jail tonight. Somebody going to the hospital. Somebody going to jail. We don't know who's going to do what, but something about to happen. So that should have been my first red flag. But instead of saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to leave you alone so you can get this situation taken care of, I said, why don't you move in with me? So, yeah. We ended up living together. It worked out all right for a little bit because we worked at the same spot, pretty much the same shift. It was okay. And it got weird. The vibe got weird. I was pregnant. I ended up getting pregnant really fast. The vibes got weird. Here's where I'll find out that when you date people you work with, once they quit the job and not work with you anymore, go ahead and cancel that relationship out. It's a wrap. Just go ahead and call that relationship a wrap. Because now, I guess now that y'all don't have that closeness or whatever, I've worked with two people.
It's weird going from spending 100% of your time with someone every single day to all of a sudden, hey, there's like an 8-hour gap where this motherfucker could be doing anything.
Where's you at? Right.
Yeah. Texting people at 3 a.m. on the couch, thinking you ain't paying attention to them.
All that.
Doing stuff in the cooler.
The cooler. I've worked with two people. I've lived with both of those people. And once they stopped working with me, the relationship got really weird and it just the reason to care isn't there.
Listen. Both of them, first and foremost.
Chris happens to know both.
Secondly, that second one, something off about that second relationship
was that the night terrors guy?
No. The second one was the D36
firefighter.
The second one, there was always something a little off before.
The second one, here's the thing, and it took me a while to realize this. I think that I was more of an experiment, and little known fact, I was his first black girlfriend.
That's not a surprise. He kind of seemed into.
I think I was an experiment to see if he liked that, if he liked or could relate or wanted anything to do with that side of him. And I think I was just an experiment to see if he could handle it. And I think he had some good intentions. It's just that he just had some. It was weird because he had some very racist connotations that he didn't know how to address that side of him. I'm just gonna say that he has nothing to do with that side of him. Was
he like self-hating kind of thing?
I think so. Yeah.
Wow.
Which is why his life looks the way it looks right now. If you go check him out, his life looks the way it looks right now.
I've heard
he cannot handle that side of him. And I think I was just an experiment to see if he could handle that side. And I don't. It obviously didn't work. It didn't work out. But that was that dude.
We'll talk more about that one a little later.
That's my thoughts.
let's get back to that other one, because that other one I wanted to punch.
Yeah.
Several times. Yeah, me too. So that one got distant. He ended up getting another job, working part-time on the weekends at one of them places.
I noticed he started having short tempers, bad attitudes, like he real short with me about everything. But I remember one day I had to go pick him up from work. And as I was picking him up from work, I watched him walk out the building smiling and laughing and TTing, and he was the life of the party. But as soon as he locked eyes with me, his face went from here to just down. He was just like, ugh. Like you could literally see the joy drain from his face when he saw me. And I was like, oh, this is a problem. So if I'm the type in a relationship, if I see a problem, let me try to handle it. My first go-to is let me talk to you. Let me see if let's have a conversation. Communication is key, all that shit. We sat down and he was just like, I'll just be tired. I got a lot of things going on in my head. Discuss it with me. And he didn't want to discuss it. Okay. So have the baby. And 2 months later, I found out.
Kid, by the way, just an adorably cute kid.
Jeez.
Now he all huge and whatnot.
All huge. My gosh. Eat a fucking house.
I don't even know what happened. Like, I don't know what happened to these kids. Yeah. Anyway,
right?
continue.
It's a modern mystery.
So we have the kid. A couple of months later, he hops in the shower. We was talking TTT. He hops in the shower. His phone goes off. Y'all know that's the
Dominoes.
Right? That's the sign. I wish he was smart enough to have Dominoes. No, he had the girl real name. So I checked the message. You look so disgusted.
Save her his mom or something like.
Nothing. No, it was her real name. I checked the message. Now here's the thing. The message is written in a different language.
Oh shit! So you can't even snoop.
Google said I can.
Do you not know Torah? You know Torah.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. You know Torah.
Google's coming
At
a long
all.
way.
Google Translate said otherwise. So I didn't get all the words, but I did get, I love you and can you give me some money? Mind you, he worked 2-3 days a week. So where are you
Whose
getting
money
this money?
is she getting?
And that's the part. It was one thing, you want to fuck my man, okay. You feeling like y'all in love, all right. But my money?
But if you're taking money while you have a newborn.
My money? So he came out the shower and I asked the questions. What was this? What's going on? Woo, woo, woo. We sat there and I got upset and I cried and I told him, I thought we were doing something different. And it's never going to happen again. She don't mean nothing. A week later, she's sending pictures.
And I assume they weren't unsolicited.
It's not even, she sent him a picture and I was like, she's sending you pictures. I go back through his camera roll and I look at pictures that he's taken of her.
Oh, you take one good one and save it. Why?
Caraway, you missed it. Taking pictures of her?
Taking pictures of her in his camera roll.
Oh shit. Oh, you're dead to rights, bro. That's photographic evidence of you at the location. That's a totally different.
Now, there's no picture of them together, but there's pictures that he took.
Yeah, you can tell.
Okay. Now, see, the first time I cried and boo-hooed and that shit didn't work. I see that's not going to be my solution here. So I said, all right.
The isopropyl.
I said, all right. Wait, I'm sorry. Let me go back. The way we got to this point, because that was the second and the third time. I didn't tell you the first time. The first time was Tora got to be at work at 4 a.m. So I'm up at 2:30. Let me get dressed, getting ready to go. I'm running late as hell. Let me text Chris and tell Chris I'm gonna be late.
You're gonna have to handle those right starts, buddy.
I'm running late as hell. And on my way out the door, something stops me. I think I need to go back and get my badge. Something happened and I need to go back and get something. I go to get something. His phone dings.
The fuck?
At 3:30 in the morning? The thing is that he decided he was going to try to be slick and charge it in the living room. So while he in the back room sleep, his phone is going off in the living room.
Dude, that's divine intervention that phone went off when you walked in the door.
His phone is going off in the living room. So I checked the phone. Oh, it's a female. Like, at this point, I'm stuck. in between calling in and I need to go get my money. So I'm stuck. So what do I do? I send the messages to my phone. That way I can at least have the girl phone number. So I go and I can't remember who I call. I want to say it's Chris. If it's not Chris, it might be Dari, one of our friends. If it ain't Chris, it was Derek. I called one of them and I'm on the phone. Maybe I called my mama. Anyway, I was on the phone with somebody and I was like, I can't believe this dude. I just seen these messages, this girl, and this. She knew I went to work she knew I got to be at work at 4 o'clock in the morning. That's why she texted him at 3:30. Why else would she do this? He sleep. They ain't talking. Oh, I was mad. I'm going out. I get in.
Dude.
To this day, I see shit from that day on my Facebook post, and it's like, dang, damn. And so I sent her a message like, bitch, I know who you is, and please believe I'm coming to see you. Let me get off this job. And I sent him a message and I tell him, hey, you know what? That's cool. I already know who she is. So he calling me like crazy. He calls so much that he calls the office. I'm not answering no phone calls right now because I'm hyped up. So I end up getting home. I have a conversation with him. He calls her up in front of me and was like, yeah, it's nothing between us. You know, I'm with this girl. Da, 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 da. And then like a week or two later, that's when I found the text message. And I was so upset and crying. And then after that, I found the pictures. So he stopped messing with her. Cause guess what? Homegirl done got scared. Cause like I said, I know where you work, sis. Remember I seen you walking out the building. I know where you at. Okay, cool. So she's done. She's done with this dude. She's done. Next thing you know, he proposes to me. And we're out in public when he do it. So I said yes, because I didn't want him to be embarrassed, but I know inside of me, maybe not. So I'm going to try to make this work. Cool. Got the ring. We proposed. Okay, let's go. And this is around my birthday too, that he did it. Around my birthday. So we, I'm sorry. So we go ahead. That's why I'm like, okay, anyway, so we go ahead. And I thought we were doing good for like a month. We did great. Next thing you know, this dumbass, unless it's Facebook messages open. So here's girl number 2. Okay. And then I have a conversation with him. And then all of a sudden, our makeup to break up, we never broke up. We just drifted apart. So much that I got another boyfriend in the middle of it. So
y'all didn't drift. It was a chasm that developed. I mean, after all that garbage, it was a whole iceberg.
At a certain point, it feels like I would look at the person as like, you know, you say roommate, but like, motherfucker, you're just a person that also lives here. Like, calling you a roommate is too much.
Yeah.
You went halves on me with this adorable thing, but other than that, like.
But before it got to that point, we had kind of drifted. He started doing his own thing. So I was like, you know, I'm fixing to do my own thing. So I acquired a boyfriend in the middle of having my fiance. The boyfriend I also got from work. So there's that. But this dude treated me so awesome. And he was such a good kisser, but it came down to the sex. And I was like, I can't have sex with you because I'm still with this dude. So I actually broke up with him after a few months. But he's JP is a nice dude. So anyway, after that, oh Jesus. I only said that name because I know Chris knows this dude. But anyway, so after that, I really liked him too. But anyway, after that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to work this thing out. Okay, so it didn't really work out the way I wanted it to, being that I kept finding girls, messages to them, messages from them. There was even a time when he tried to holler at my brother's ex-girlfriend, and she's like, you know, I'm gonna tell her, right? I'm gonna tell my ex-boyfriend, and he's gonna tell his sister, why would you do this? This is dumb. He made arrangements to go see her back in our hometown of Wichita Falls. I'm like, how you gonna get there? In my car?
Can you give me a ride?
Like, what the heck? So
you go ask him for people's cars, you get stabbed. Watch out.
Exactly. I ain't above it. But all that happened, and by the time our wedding date came and went, no wedding. I stopped wearing my ring. at first I stopped wearing my ring and I put it around my neck just so he can know, but he never even questioned it. He never said anything. So I was just like, you know what? I actually went to
that would
him
have been a red flag the first day you stopped wearing it. I'd be like, hey, I bought that shit.
Yeah, can you put that back on? No, he never questioned it. But mind you, I bought him engagement rings too. 3 of them.
Why
3
3?
of them. Because the first one he sold back. The second one he quote lost. And the third one I have, because he took it off, and I found it. I guess I found it by the sink, and I was like, okay, he don't want to wear it. It's mine. I'll just keep it. So I actually still have that engagement ring. So I took off my ring. I was done with it. I even told him, you know what? I don't think we're gonna get married no time soon. So we can live together. We can stay together. We can, try to make our relationship work. But right now, I don't even want to talk about marriage. He was like, okay. He was fine with it. All right, so cool. So my engagement is broken off. As far as I'm concerned, I broke off my engagement in May. By October, I didn't even have a boyfriend. I was complete. I literally had that dude that lived with me. He slept in the living room. He didn't even sleep in the same room with me. And that was on the nights he came home. So as far as I know, I have the dude I live with. He's helping me pay the bills right now. He watched the kids when I'm at work, and he helped me pay the bills. In October, I started talking to another dude. And by December, I was sleeping with that dude. It was only supposed to be one time. Unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. Now, going back a little bit, on December 24th, this was right after our contract had started in November. In December, we're still trying to get the hang of things. Everything's still a rush. We got the holiday traffic. So on December 24th, I ended up working about 3 hours overtime that day.
Only?
Right, that's it. Because it was December 24th, I was like, I'm gonna go home. December 24th, I worked 3 hours overtime that day, and I came home, and he was livid. Why were you at work? Da, 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 da. I had to be here all day with the kids. I'm sick and I don't feel good. Mind you, my father was here all day. So it's not like he actually even came out the room to watch the kids.
They're chilling with Grandpa.
Was watching my kids. Right. My dad was here watching my kids. And he was so pissed off, and he went off on me. I don't even want to do this no more. It's not going to work. I'm done with you. I'm done with this.
Oh, really? Oh, word?
On December 24th, I will never forget it, because that was the least painful breakup I've ever had. I was like, okay, say less. Because on December 31st, I was sleeping with my next dude, so it's all to the good.
Shit, you had some good holidays that year. You're like, damn, thank you, Santa.
Yep.
Motherfucker came and took some shit.
It was all good. I even sat here and got dressed in front of him, singing and dancing, doing my hair, looking good, smelling good, so you could see me go out to go fuck this next nigga. I'm good. So at the beginning of March, I put him out completely. We're done. We're not dating no more. We're not together no more. I put him out completely at the beginning of March. By the end of March, the next one had moved in. That was my makeup to break up.
That's how you do it.
That's my makeup to break. Now, to this day, the dude that I moved in with me, I no longer talk to at all. But the other dude, the ex, oh man, jeez, he wants to be back in this realm so bad. Sorry, bro. I'm so sorry.
You had your chance.
But yeah.
You had your chance. You had your spot. You had your, everything was there for you on a silver platter. You messed up.
By the time I found out about the sixth girl, I was over it. And that's the ones I found out about. Not the ones that.
Yeah, I'm sure there was probably some more that he just got lucky. He was probably like, she's getting too good at snooping these girls out. I'm gonna have to call this off.
Let me tell you how much there is some more. There's so much more that there's another baby that I knew nothing about.
Damn.
That
yeah,
we were
sounds
still
like he's the type,
together.
to be honest.
It
sounds like he just
baby.
never fucking learned.
There's actually, in all honesty, he didn't know about the baby either. But the baby came, and I'm like, why is this baby like a year and a half younger than mine? And I'm like, wait, let me do the math. Hold on. 9 months, and it takes 9 months, and then a year and you had a whole nother chick pregnant while you were still with me. Like, this is before we broke up, before I took off my ring. You still had it. Okay. This is how we do it. And this is what you want me to go back to? No thanks.
Yeah.
Silly rabbit tricks are for kids.
Right.
Silly rabbit. And I'll be single before I do. I'm really not good at backtracking. So that's why I'm like, I really don't have good makeups to break up, because if I'm done, I'm done. That's it. I'm done. So that's the closest to makeups to breakups I have.
It sounds like that Christmas you were just like fucking, all right, man, get out. Hi.
And it was a great hotel room and everything. I was just like, this is a great, like, I'm glad I decided I wanted to have sex with this dude in October.
So would that explain why you weren't at work that day? You know,
I remember that.
He was off and I was off. I'll let y'all do the math.
Wasn't nobody off? Y'all was taking just unauthorized off days or whatnot.
I said off.
Seen off on the calendar and took it off. We were still working back then.
Mm-hmm.
We was working.
Mm-hmm.
We was working.
Mm-hmm. We was working. Just was working up there. We was working.
Mm-hmm. Y'all took off days. At that point in time, right there and there, we did not need people taking off days. We was taking
right there in the middle.
Yeah, we're throwing blankets and shit. Yeah, we're all throwing blankets. Just me and Chris are working.
Yeah, we were all, hey, I'm working.
Y'all
we was all throwing blankets. We was all working. We just wasn't all in the same place.
We all wasn't all the same day. I was taking off days and shit. Me and Caraway did not take off days. We couldn't take off days. Like,
yeah, no.
I know for
she's laid up in the crew rest.
There was a lot of makeup to breakups in the crew rest, but that's a story for another episode on another show.
I made a proposition. I said, hey, you're gonna have to take this day off, bro. He's like, man, ain't no way. Figure it out.
I'm glad
you make it work if you try hard enough.
I'm glad he understood that.
He did understand.
Yeah. Folks like me and Caraway were still chucking blankets all over the place.
I was chucking blankets too. Just not at the same place that you was chucking the blankets.
Oh, with that being said, there's nothing left we can say. Ladies and gentlemen, listen. But all jokes aside.
Look, this is probably going to be me all season. Just to see the uneasiness in both of y'all bodies, because y'all know who I'm talking about. Oh, this is gonna be great.
So if you mention chucking blankets one more time, I think Caraway just gonna shut off his whole camera and just go.
Yeah, man. I just got tired all of a sudden.
Love y'all. Thanks for listening to us. The Xennials podcast on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, and everywhere you can hear some shit at. And yeah, I did. I'll let y'all.
Later.